Hello, welcome to my film Pride, Inc. Tattoos have been around for thousands of years, originating with indigenous cultures across the globe. Through time, tattoos have been used to include and to ostracize. Tattoos have become a means of self-expression, either to show one's identity or just to look cool. But for the LGBTQ, tattoos are a source of pride. In this film, we will hear from 4 people and get their perspectives on tattoos and beyond, with a little history thrown in.
My name is Jay. I use they, them pronouns.
My name is Jaden, and I go by he, him.
My name is Brendan. My pronouns are he, him.
Toby, she, her.
In the LGBTQ plus community, I identify as bisexual and as non-binary.
I'm trans.
I identify as gay. I often just throw the word queer out once in a while.
Well, I'm a mom and a daughter and a sister, a niece, a granddaughter, a grandma, a cookum, an auntie. I left my mom and I came and lived here with my uncle, and then he basically raised me. I lived here with him, and he was a two-spirit man. And so for me, it was just, I didn't see him as just, this two-spirit man. He was my uncle, he was my protector, he was my guardian, he was my parent. And so for me, that's why it's important, because that's how important he is to me. So shortly after he passed away, I had an idea of, he'd always write cards, any kind of cards, birthdays, whatever. And so I thought, well, I'd get his writing. And this is his writing that he would always put. It's to my big baby girl, Tobes. Love you lots. XOXOXO, Uncle Alex. And then in honor of him, because of his being two-spirit, I wanted to get the rainbow heart.
My tattoo is a growing representation of queerness. In the last few years, I've been using queer instead of gay as my sort of identifier, just because I felt more that queer is becoming a word that more people are using now in more of a positive way instead of using it as a negative. A rendition of the pride flag from the original one back when they had the 2 blue colors on it, and I just have kept adding to it since the flag's been expanding and changing. So I've added on the trans flag as well as the 2 colors to represent Black and Indigenous folks as well.
I got this tattoo because I've been out for a long time, since grade 9 actually, and it's been something that's been so a part of my life this entire time. Having the tattoo on my forearm was very important to be able to showcase very proudly that it's there. Having it somewhere where I could constantly see it was very important to me. Well, I got it as the rainbow flag, which to me, and I'm sure to many others, is very encompassing of the whole community. And I didn't want to limit myself to kind of one or the other, bisexual, non-binary, because it's changing. I'm pretty firm in who I am. But for a lot of people, I went through the phase of, am I a lesbian? Am I bisexual? Am I even either of those?
When I was little, I used to watch counting cars with my dad, and they'd always go into this cool tattoo shop. So since I was little, I wanted to do tattoos, and then I decided to finally buy a tattoo gun off Amazon. And then I just started getting fake skin, and then my parents left me alone, and I tattooed myself, and it kind of just escalated from there. I kind of was a little bit timid to actually come out for a long time, and when I was finally okay with hey, I'm transgender, I decided to put it somewhere other people can see it, so that's not secret anymore.
to put a tattoo on my body, it feels very serious. You know, tons of people say, oh, this is just a phase. Oh, you'll grow out of it. Like, I haven't grown out of it. And now it's permanently on my body, so will I ever grow out of it? I didn't think so before, but of course, not now.
It's just kind of one of those things where as queerness grows and evolves, then this will also grow and evolve. And it's just something that's was important to me to put onto my body in that way. I don't really have any other way to represent it. Like, I'm not a very flamboyant person. I'm not a very like outrageously outgoing and outspoken person a lot of the time. So it's just kind of like a way for it to be there without being in everyone's face. But it's also a visual representation of my queerness on my body.
Well, so my uncle was a big kind of humanitarian in the community, always in the community, always doing things, always helping, you know, cooking, volunteering at Carmichael, wherever he could help and volunteer. With him being so recently gone is still kind of hard, but I know that's something in his honor, and I know for me it's important to try and carry that legacy on. I won't carry it on as big as him because he was just so big in doing it, and he was just so out there all the time. But
and I just started getting it back when I was teaching in a small community, and it was kind of my way of making sure that the kids who were queer in the community knew that I was a safe person to come and talk to, even though I wasn't really out in the community. I grew up in a small community, and it wasn't really widely accepted in that community to be queer. So I feel like this is a way of almost like double coming out, because I ended up teaching in a small community as well. And it was also hard then to still be out and comfortable. And it was kind of just a way for me to be out without actually having to come out, be like I am, and I'm proud of that thing, and I always have it visible. It's something that will grow and change as I grow and change throughout the years.
The process was hard and really long. It was a lot of months of therapy to get there, which it's frustrating when they're questioning you about, hey, is this really what you want? It makes you overthink it a bit, but it was a long, hard process to get there. Just a long, probably a 6 months process before you actually start getting to where you want to be. Like, once you start, you can't go back.
I would just kind of hear stories of him. Like, he would kind of tell stories if other people and stuff were around. It wasn't directly to me, but he just kind of like being a little boy, you know, feeling made to be ashamed to be like that. Like, everybody kind of knew growing up, and, you know, in your little Métis communities, and wasn't really accepted back then. My grandma and grandpa, their kids were their kids. They loved them no matter what. So he didn't get that opposition from his parents. It was just kind of people around, you know, the kids he would go to school with. A lot of, I don't know how to say it, but white people, basically. So, you know, it was a lot of teasing and being made to feel ashamed.
In my previous community where I was teaching, kids would just be like, oh, it's like the faggy teacher. There were some families in the community that were very much of the mindset that because I was queer, my educational ability to teach their kids had less value than anyone else that was teaching in the community at the same time. And I had the parent of a kid try to like storm through the school to get to my classroom, but was stopped at the front door.
there's always a fear of backlash. Somebody who will recognize the tattoo as the rainbow flag and not just flowers, and make some sort of move on me or put me in danger. So that's always a fear.
I'm very afraid of someone coming up and like right in my face and getting mad at me for it, or upset that I'm trans and having a huge problem with it, even though it's not their problem. You know, getting hurt. There's a lot of people out there that don't like it.
Two-spirit LGBTQ+ presence in tattooing has a storied past. From innovators like Samuel Stewart and his apprentices Cliff Raven and Ed Hardy, to 16-year-olds tattooing themselves when their parents leave them alone, queer people are a part of tattoo history. Around the 1960s, queer people began to adopt tattoos as a means of identification to other members of the community. This meant that, for those in the know, people could find others like them. Not without risk, tattooing one's identity on themselves was one way of showing pride. Many non-traditional pride tattoos could be seen as a way of saying "fuck you" to the authorities or anyone who saw you as an outsider. From co-op shops to consent practices, the queer and trans nation continues to innovate the tattoo industry.
My friends and my family's favorite tattoo. When I got it, everybody was so excited because everybody around me knows that this has been a big piece of me for a very long time. So I would like to think that they were happy to see me get something to celebrate myself.
It was received pretty well. My family has been fairly accepting of me since I came out, at least, and even more so since my partner and I got married.
The support has been amazing. My girlfriend, for one, has always been there. And I think she knew when we first met before I ever told her. She's always been there. She helped me come out to my family and just stuff that I need to get to where I want to be. The support that I've got, it's incredible from my family and just people that do support me. It's been great.
Do you think your uncle would be happy with your tattoo?
Oh, yeah. Oh, of course. 100%. Yeah, absolutely. He'd love it.
It's very important for me to help others because I've been in that spot where there was nobody there to help me. And if I can say that I've helped even one person, then that makes little J just feel a little bit better.
I do hope that if I ever did give any tattoos that were in the LGBTQ and plus community, that it would kind of help them, like how it helped me be more confident without having to come out right and say hey, I'm gay or I'm transgender.
I am an artist as well. I don't think I have enough drive to become a tattoo artist, but it was very important for me to have a piece of my artwork on my body because being an artist is such a big part of who I am. There's so many ways that you can express yourself with tattoos that aren't just because you're a sailor or you were in jail or you're a thief. There's so much beauty in tattoo and the relationship you build with them.
And I think at least if I can put it on paper or I can put it on my body, that's a different way of showing it. I express a lot through art and tattoos. I do a lot of art too. I don't be able to just come out and say something. I feel like it's very important to actually speak your mind and be able to express yourself. And if you can't do that, then put it on your body or put it in your art or express yourself somehow. I feel like you have to express yourself to be who you are, That's definitely my voice, yeah.
So it just really means a lot to me, just because of who it's for and how much he meant to me. And I'm proud to have it and proud to show it off. I know he would be proud and happy as well. And I just feel like with it, I still have a little bit of him kind of with me. You know what I mean? I can always kind of feel his spirit. So that's why it's important for me.
Regardless of how we identify, we choose to show our pride through tattoo by indelibly marking ourselves as LGBTQ or ally. No matter how you choose to show love of self or others, know you are not alone. We are a community.